You starting with all the jittery shit? Didn't Brad just leave?
No, he's back.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm just frozen. Everything's frozen.
Oh.
Not for me.
Okay, well,
Brad
Yeah,
is signaling a plane to land on an aircraft carrier.
It is doing the thing where it freezes people until they're talking, but what can be done?
Okay, fine. Let's go. Bekah.
Live.
Bekah.
I've been working on something.
What is the echo that I hear?
I'm ready for my introduction.
Somebody's echoing hard.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Why are we getting it? Why are you getting an echo?
I don't know. I hear an echo from everybody.
Huh.
Do we need to? We need to shut this shit down.
Shut it down.
Podcast cancer right now.
It still went on when I was muted, but I don't believe it's me.
Yeah, it's not coming through on me.
I don't hear an
it's
echo.
Not coming through on the stream.
My TV's muted. But then again, I'm not playing the show.
I'm not hearing anything.
Check.
We're doing great.
I mean, you guys hear the echo, don't you?
No.
Well, it's because we're fucking live on the stream and I'm retarded.
Oh my god.
After the things we've seen this week.
This man artificially ripened an avocado.
It does work.
Crunch, clutch avocado, clutch guacamole.
I mean, we have to taste it first.
I'm okay with it, but I think Bekah's gonna win.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
She's had all day to look at recipes and go through the backstory of every
recipes.
That's ever made a recipe for guacamole before.
Kegel says he's got no echo.
Guacamole.
Yeah, we established what it was.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Guacamole is all about feeling and testing.
That sounds like a bunch of Who Shot John.
I mean, I tested it. It's not like I can't modify it after this podcast. And I'm like,
So
I'm drunk. I want it different now.
So is it like you would want a thick and girthy guacamole? Is that what it is?
Girthy?
Yeah, it's got to be girthy.
You definitely want girthiness in your guacamole. If you get it too smooth, that's not good.
Girthy guac?
I got jalapenos and tomatoes in there.
I don't eat no guacamole. That shit's nasty.
It's good for you.
Why are we? Let's see the mixer.
Somebody's checking it. Somebody's checking it.
Stop doing that. Stop doing it.
Just enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, Bekah. Hold on.
Wait, something we're supposed to start with?
Podcast where I listen to me on the podcast. That's the only way I can really enjoy myself. Bekah.
Yes.
I want to hear what you wanted to talk about at the beginning here.
Well, first off, I wanted to say that I've been working on something.
That's what I wanted to hear about. Yeah.
Is it guacamole?
No. No rules, just right.
All right. I think the lass has got it.
Is it good?
Very nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, now something else.
That's another test.
Because all of our Australian friends failed us this week and did not call in to, what was it they were supposed to do? Imitate Americans.
Call up to 865-316-6955. Is that what you were talking about, Steve?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't remember what they were supposed to say though.
They were just
literally
call
anything. They could have said anything. They could have said, "We hate your podcast," and we'd have just been like, "Oh, that's a wonderful accent."
Yeah. I will totally sleep with you with that accent.
Yeah.
I don't give it to it that easy.
Man, that reminds me of something, but I'm going to save it until we're talking about that special time.
Save it, bro.
Fuck the Australians. Bring on the Kiwis.
Oh, we'll fuck the
It's
Australians.
kind of the same accent.
Bekah, you were saying there's going to be a Face Off remake.
Yeah, I wanted to know if David heard that they're talking about remaking Face Off.
I did not.
What do you think about it?
I think I won't watch it, and I think it's fucking sad. It's the same thing I said every time they redo a movie that was made years ago. Can you not do something original?
And
No.
it's not
It's
even
your job.
It's not even like
your
a
job.
classic. You know?
Yeah, right?
And it's not
I
even
mean,
that
it's like-
old.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the... I don't know.
Who's playing John Travolta and who's playing Nick Cage?
I
They
don't
should
know.
just play them. They should do it again.
They should,
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
should.
No, they
If
should
they
just.
don't, I'm not watching it.
The ultimate. They should play each other's characters.
Yes.
Ooh,
Fuck
I
that.
like
It sucks
in a
so
complete
bad.
remake,
No,
but they play the other character.
Yeah.
no do-over.
Which means they play the. Yeah, that would
Then
be
they
awesome.
play
Tweet them.
the original character, but
That
all
would
through
be
the movie.
genius.
Yeah,
That
You
would
gotta
be
tweet
absolutely
'em.
genius.
Whoever's making this movie, we have to tweet them about this. They need to know.
That is the best idea I have heard in at least a year.
You're gonna get the tweet and say, "Guys, we gotta restart this whole goddamn thing. We just got a better idea."
So, guys, the reason you aren't seeing me in my normal woodsy cabin environment is that I'm right now in Steve-O's bedroom.
Mm.
I'm rubbing Steve-O's bed right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at Steve's bedroom. Just show it off.
Smells like
Yeah.
science in there.
Is there a barn owl in there?
science?
Could be. There's a lot of things in there.
There's a bicycle.
I wonder if Steve-O's nervous now.
Camera equipment. There's a jizz sock right underneath.
Oh no.
It's not even a sock, man. You got the jizz part right, but
It's
not
a
sock.
mitten. He's got 5 goes.
So-
You get 2 mittens with each pair.
So Friday, months ago, I bought tickets to see a Japanese band called Babymetal, which is it's basically a mix of J-pop and metal.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it after the podcast, and Brad said, "Bought a ticket." This concert was in Atlanta.
On the
So-
first website he stumbled upon,
Yeah, the very first website.
It-
It's not. my
and it
best
was
one.
like quite a bit more expensive than what Nathan paid, right?
I paid
About
$100.
twice. Yeah, about twice what I paid almost.
Yeah.
And then my plan was after this Friday night concert to drive down to Florida to Cocoa Beach to hang out with everybody. So we figured out what we were going to do. Brad flew up that Friday. We went to the concert. We had that night. We were going to stay at the hotel. And then we rode back together. But I guess we could talk about first. We saw Avatar was opening for Babymetal, and this is a Swedish metal band. Brad, you want to tell them a little bit about Avatar?
Avatar was very interesting. If anybody, all you metal fans out there, if you've ever seen Metalocalypse, that used to be on Adult Swim years ago,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
everybody had that same exact long hair, like long, thick hair, we're fucking metal vibe. And then
If you lose your hair, you're out of the band.
I'm sure you could probably pin a wig or
No, what?
Yeah.
See, the drummer was bald, I think.
Oh,
But
well,
did he have a
drummers-
long beard?
Yeah, he had.
Yeah, I think he had a beard.
Drummers
Yeah.
are allowed to
Yeah.
be bald because they.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much headbanging they can do back there anyway.
Well, right, that's the thing because there was 4 of them up front, and they would all headbang, and their hair would go in a
Synchronized
circle,
headbanging.
synchronized.
Hmm.
So they're doing this.
True professionals.
Yeah, they knew how to work it.
Yeah, so it was cool, and they had like a big old light up, said Avatar in the back. It was cool. I got Snapchat I need to post. We'll put it on the Verbal Assault Twitter after the podcast.
The lead singer had this whole sort of Joker kind of persona. His face was painted, and he had the biggest fucking mouth with biggest teeth I've ever seen.
It looked like he had just got done watching it and listening to the Black Parade on repeat for 24 hours straight.
And he just walked in, and he would do this thing, his mouth wide open, and just look with this wide eyes. Just Brad's got it. He would just do that. He's like, "How is everybody doing today?"
Steve-O, put me on the stream so the people see me.
See
Yeah,
all
so
3 pixels of you.
Yeah, they had this carnival kind of theme to them, which it was fun. It was good. They were fine. They were fun.
They were fine. Yeah, they were good. I'd say they were good. In fact, I talked to a metalhead at my work who was actually in a touring band, and I was like, "Hey, I went to see a metal show. You might be interested in this kind of thing." He's like, "Yeah." Like, I saw Avatar, and they're like, "Oh shit, They're good. Yeah, they're not going to open for us. I told him about Babymetal, and he about lost his shit.
Yeah, so then we get to Babymetal, which is it's a metal band fronted by three girls, one main singer, and they do the sort of cutesy J-pop dance stuff and the with the voices, and they're very in sync, and they act like they're just Asian robots basically. They're
Pretty much, yeah. Asian metal robots.
Yeah, they've been born and bred to do this performance.
Yeah.
And we had fun. We got at the very end. We got in the mosh pit. We were the big, huge circle, but it was
Were you
simple.
skanking?
No, it wasn't skanking.
I guess.
No, I
that's
pretty much did I'm just going to put my arms up so I can bounce and not hurt anybody. And then some dude pushed me, and I pushed the fuck out of him back, and I never saw him again.
That's the way it was. The whole just running in there.
Yeah.
There was one point though earlier on where Babymetal, they would do like 3 songs, and they'd do a really short break, and they would play a video. And there was one point I laughed so hard I fell over, and I literally fell into the people behind me, and they had to lift me up. And it was Babymetal had this video on the back, and it showed like these two looked like stars colliding, and then like the sun exploded, and then you could see the solar system. And Brad goes, "If Steve-O was here, he'd tell you that's not how it really happened." I literally just laughed and fell over. But yeah, so the concert was good, but what really sort of owned the night was after that we went to the world famous Clermont Lounge.
This is where the story begins.
highly revered. Yes.
Atlanta's oldest strip club.
In many ways.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Many wonderfully strange ways.
Brad, give the people your first impressions on walking.
That's the good stuff.
Clermont Lounge.
Nathan may or may not have had alcohol before, but he nailed the parallel park job because parking, of course, was a nightmare around there. And we go in.
Wait, to preface, I told him that I'd been there before, and it was always described as alternative girls. That's how it was sold to me, and I think
What's
Brad,
that mean?
I think Brad had a certain idea in mind, and I tried to talk that out of his head, a couple times, but he may have forgotten.
Like gothy girls.
I thought it was going to be like dark,
Suicide Girls.
tattooed, like Suicide Girls.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but
not disappointed.
Not disappointed. Yeah, it was very interesting. So we get in, pay our cover, go inside. They tell us no phones, no cameras, no nothing. I'm like, okay, standard strip club etiquette for the most part. We walk in, place is fucking packed.
Yeah, this is Friday night.
Packed where the bouncers like, look at the lines on the ground, stay out of those lines so people can get through. And you're like, okay, well, I'm right up next to all these 8 people trying to get drinks at the bar at the same time. So.
Who are already standing in that line.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm waiting for a drink. And he's like, all right, and that's cool. So waiting for a drink, you kind of look around, take it in. And
who was on stage first? Can you?
Okay, that's the thing. So when you walk in, to the right is a horseshoe bar area with a raised platform that is at level with the bar, and that's the whole right side of this place. It's a huge bar.
Yeah.
And there is I'll honestly say girl dancing, but there could also be a grandma. It could be.
Could have been.
But yeah, when we walked in, it was just huge black booty just bouncing. That was
welcome to Atlanta.
That was our welcome to Atlanta.
And it's like liquor bottles like lining the stage, right? Isn't that like where they keep all their liquor bottles for mixing drinks and shit? Isn't it?
No,
Like...
that's sort of in front of it.
They were in the trough in front.
Right,
so
right.
The
But
whole
around
thing at the bar is people will wad up. They'll wad up the money and throw it. The dollars or whatever. That's what they do if you're sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
It was a very different strip club experience.
Yeah. And then on this side there's like a small dance floor, which we met a couple interesting people out there, Brad.
Well, the first person, well, I'll save I'll save the good one for second. But first person we met was this real short dude named Miles, and he just came up to me. He's like, "Hey, do you like vodka?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here, have this. It's just all vodka. I can't drink it." I'm like, "I don't normally take drinks from strangers, but
Right?
I'll take your vodka." Snaps
He
that
was-
bitch right up.
He wasn't gonna rape Brad.
No,
he was
no,
cool.
he was,
Yeah.
he was cool, and I was like, "Oh, you do."
He
seem
wasn't,
cool.
but he was the wingman for the big guy.
Yeah.
How'd
he
you
could
know
be
that
the-
he had a big guy with him? Who told you the story?
A very big, yeah.
So you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
this guy was little, so he was just a wingman. He's going, "You roofie him, I will do him."
Yeah.
That's why I got Nathan watching my back.
Yeah.
So and he had a big friend. It turns out they were there for a bachelor party from one of the Carolinas, and I think I had tried to ask him, "Oh, were you guys just kind of taking the trip to Atlanta too to escape the hurricane?" I think they said yes, but it was also loud as fuck in there, where you have to yell next to somebody's ear for them to hear you, which is kind of standard in the club scene.
Now, does everybody know the trick? And this will be for listeners too. There's a trick if you're in a very loud bar. This works for concerts, everything. If you just close the ear that's closest to the person that's trying to talk to you, you can actually hear them better. And
Amazingly,
it's not
yes,
like not like completely close it, but like where there's just a little bit of space there, and you can actually hear them better that way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds like bullshit, but I worked a rave at work a couple years ago, and the first night I didn't do any earphones or anything. It was murder trying to listen to somebody talk to you when they're shouting in your ear.
Yep.
And then the next night, because it was a two-night rave, the next night I had wadded up some napkins and just put them in my ear, and I could actually hear a lot better and understand what people were saying, and my ears didn't get all ringy afterwards when I left work.
But you're just blocking out the loudest.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you're blocking out those certain
I'll
frequencies.
I'll try that next time.
I thought I saw you doing that last night at Lamppost, but I guess not. I thought I saw you like plug your ear one time whenever you couldn't hear me like 3 times, and then I thought I saw you do that. Guess not.
No, my ear was just probably itching. I don't know.
Anyway, we talked to those guys for a while, and then I met a gentleman who had quite the deal for me as somebody who works in the restaurant industry. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you a drink," and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Trick is, I'm gonna give you this $20, and you're gonna give me a Jameson and a High Life, and then get whatever you want." And I said, "Okay." And I'm like,
They'd
"What's
already
your
cut
name?"
him off or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I was still like,
No,
"Well,
I think it was just he didn't want to go wait in line.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was murder waiting in line, but when somebody is like, "Hey, you do this for me, you got a free drink," and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Okay," and I was like, "Well, what's your name?" And he's like, "Black ass Mike," and he's this real skinny black dude, and he had a Chucky T-shirt on, Chucky from the movie. And he was up there dancing. Yeah, he was fucking hilarious.
Cutting the rug.
So yeah, I did that, and at that point I was like, I have 3 drinks in my hand, which I only paid for one, and I think I was like, "Nathan, do you want this beer? Because I don't fucking need it right now." And,
that was the thing I noticed about Atlanta, and it actually kind of surprised me, was that everybody was really fucking cool. Everybody was really nice. Even like wait staff, everybody was really friendly.
Face to face, everybody in Atlanta was cool as fuck. On the highway and on the road, it was all just fuck you 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But Clermont Lounge, it's a unique place. It's the only strip club I've been to, but
in Atlanta.
But it's no phones in your hand. You can't.
You have to socialize.
Everybody is talking with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking up and looking around. It's literally the last bastion of social interaction in the world are strip clubs.
Strip clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding.
The strip
I'm
clubs
not
will
even
save
kidding
our
right now.
society.
Yeah. It is 100% true. And it's the only place I've seen this in a very long time.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, everybody was talking to each other and chill, so because nobody was on their phone. So no, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm just, I'm texting my friend," or going through Instagram or some shit.
This place is lame. I got to get on Tinder.
Right.
Well, a little bit after that, I was approached by a stripper there, which with how packed it was, just happens. But she was Australian from what I could tell.
Yeah, Brad's mustache draws in women. It's like he got like 5 compliments on that mustache.
Did you hear what the bartender was saying to me last night when we were trying to walk out?
No, what did he say? Oh, what did she say?
Well, she was like the first time I went to get a drink, she was a bitch, and then the second time she was kind of a bitch until I was like, she put her hand out like, give me your cup, I'll fill it up, and I was like, well, I was actually going to get a Corona Light, but she's like, oh no, that's cool, because I feel like she's the kind of bartender that just likes popping open beers and saying, give me $1 for popping that beer.
I think it was that as the night went on, she was getting drunk, and that was when the bitchiness was wearing off.
She had a group of gay dudes were taking shots out of her butthole, so
Right.
that happier.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's we're jumping all around, guys.
Jumping all around the bars.
Let's talk about the Australian stripper. Dude, honestly, in my opinion, she was probably the hottest stripper in there, but I'd politely decline just because I was still kind of taking in the night, and I was like, I don't want to start burning 20s yet.
Yeah, we just got in there. We hadn't been there very long.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't see her again later when I was like, I'll take that lap dance now. I never saw her again. But we did get a bit of a consolation prize after we had bunked over to the part. And for people that have been to the strip club and know that there's a VIP room and it's usually, kind of closed off. Not this one. No. It's like
they got some chairs.
It's a back row of tables, and they just take 2 chairs and they turn them toward the wall.
You can definitely see
everybody sitting around watching whatever kind of dance happens.
They are called table dances because the stripper doesn't touch you.
Well, yeah.
Traditionally, they were on a table dancing without touching, but
I guess, as Brad has said to me, the traditional lap dance is the girl rubbing her ass basically on your dick.
Right.
They weren't really doing that in here, not really.
No, the hottest girl there was to a certain female, but we'll get back to that later.
Somebody's got to have boundaries.
But
I get it.
But yeah, so we were sitting in sort of to the side of this section, and we could see the lap dances happening. And what's going through my head is that we're gonna have to do this at some point. That's what I'm thinking.
It's not complete unless you do that.
Right. I mean,
totally okay, except for the Australian girl. That was a go, but everything else is like
she disappeared. So I mean, right around that time, a stripper walks up to me and says, "Hey, Daddy, you want to dance? It's $20." And I looked at Brad.
Graduated to Daddy.
It's a popular thing nowadays, I guess.
Yeah. Do a lot of guys like being called Daddy? I
don't get it.
I used to not have an opinion, and now I like it.
Oh.
So she asked me, and I look at Brad, and he looks over me, and he's like, kind of gives a little nod. I'm like, I guess I'm doing it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So she grabs me. Oh, wait. I left out the fact that when she said, "Hey, Daddy, you want to lap dance?" She went onto my stomach and rubbed her hands up, and then came up and tweaked my nipples.
I can't leave that in detail.
She did like 3 times as she was talking to me.
And that's when Nathan said, "I'm sold."
No, that's also a weird move to me. Daddy and nipples.
Yeah.
Brad,
learn something about yourself you didn't know.
Brad, can you describe this this woman?
Well, I'm not going to use my number scale because that would be subjugating women, and certainly wouldn't want to do that as a cis white male in 2019. She was of Hispanic lineage, and she had pretty nice legs, pretty, par for the course on the stripper ass, and pretty decent face. Let's talk about the cons
Wait,
now.
you skipped a lot. I feel like you just jumped from bottom to top.
She's pregnant.
No, we were doing the pros.
Or
and,
probably formerly pregnant is our.
I'm gonna go with definitely formerly pregnant.
She's still carrying around the afterbirth.
Well, we'll get to that.
So
No.
I'm pushed down into the chair, and she leans in and says, "Hi, Daddy, what's your name?" And she leans into my ear. She's like, "Right here." It's very ASMR. It's totally ASMR. Don't even ask what that is, Steve.
What is that?
She's like, "What's your name?"
Google,
Like, yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, "Nathan," and I was like, "What's your name?" It's a thing to ask.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm Gabriella." Okay.
Okay.
So, the complete sequence is a little blurry to me, but her main move, here was the move. Whisper something in one ear, like, Daddy, I'm so hot. Then she would pull back and then rub her tits across my face and then whisper in the other ear something else, like, I'm having such a good time. And then she would rub her tits back across my face the other direction. And these were, as Brad put it, these are the pointiest nipples we'd ever seen. Brad,
if I were
how
to
did
hold
you
up
describe
this,
them?
so I've got this pen right now. We'll put her about there. So from my thumbs to the tip, right there.
Oh my
the
God.
contrast. They were like in the diameter of chalk is how I put it.
Wow.
Like,
How does your face okay?
well, Nathan
Scratched his glasses a little bit, but
That was
Jeez.
my thought at one point. I was like, man, she has smeared the shit out of my glasses.
He
And
was putting milk all over those things.
I don't have my cleaning cloth.
You
Oh,
didn't bring
no.
your cleaning cloth to a strip club?
It's in my car.
I've seen him with it, and
he's not
he
sure if they're
uses
going to
it.
let him back in if he goes out to his car.
I did not expect the repeated titty drag across my face. I didn't think that was in the cards. It was not.
Yeah. Surely I shouldn't expect a titty drag.
So she would do the drag a couple times, whisper, and then she would back up and like turn around and shake her ass, and then she would come back in and do the same thing. So she just did that a couple times, and another time she had her panties on, and she would like pull the panty to the side, just give you a little hint.
Show goods.
Vagina.
You pay $20,
then-
give them a good show.
And then probably 2 minutes. It couldn't have been that long. Brad might be able to say it better than me.
It's about the length of the song.
Yeah, she goes. Oh shit! Hold on.
What happened?
She goes. I almost knocked my drink over. She
Oh.
goes. Hey, Daddy, another 20. Get that full nude. You want the full nude? Take it all off, baby. I'll take it all off. And I said, I looked at her and I was like, let me cool down and I'll get back to you later. I'll talk to you later.
It's a good line.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice save.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
That's good.
There's only so much I can handle. So she's like done with me. She's done. I get up, but I get up and Brad, who has been watching this the entire time,
Giggling the entire time to myself.
but see, it's my turn now because she follows me right back to Brad,
Yeah.
and Brad can take
Who's
over. at this
he's
point.
standing there fluffing himself.
Right.
I don't know if I'd put it quite that way.
He's used to it. It's like cave diving to him. He's got the breath, man.
Yeah.
Not my first rodeo. You got it, Dave.
No, yeah. He's had his nose in the ass crack of a stripper before. I've been there.
One or two, or
Who knows how many?
who's keeping count these days?
So she comes over to you. How does she sell it, Brad? What does she say?
Hey, it's your turn now. You ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna
You're
get
like-
the full Clermont Lounge experience.
Yeah, let's do it.
Of course, yeah. And then I go there and she does the same thing to me. The what's your name? And I'm like Brad. And I asked her name. And I couldn't hear it, so I was like, all right, well, okay. And she does the same thing. She drops it low, Atlanta tradition. I respect it. I understand. And then, a little bit of ass shaking. And then I got a couple titty drags myself. Close the eyes. I don't want to lose contact. And,
You didn't have the shields. You didn't have the glasses.
I didn't have the shields. I took that shot straight to the face.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad. I guess it depends on your perspective.
Well, it's weird when you feel a part of your mustache hook onto the nipple. It's an odd sensation.
You should have taken the little bit on the end and tweaked that around her nipple.
I don't know. I had nailed the mustache design that day, and it's like once you got it right, you don't touch it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe. I bet you fondle your stash often.
Not in the restaurant business, no, not at work. But on the couch, watching sumo, it's a little different. You got to place them bets, gentlemen.
So Brad,
anyway,
he asks you the question.
Nathan did a good job of describing the first part of the dance, and then she hit me with, for an extra 20, I'll go full nude. And I'm like, well, I'd be crazy not to get the full Clermont Lounge experience. So yeah, here we go, $20. Yeah, and she did. Now, when you say full nude, you expect no clothes, no nothing. So
yeah.
she got most of the way there, but pretty much the dance starts and she starts to pull up her skirt and she gets to the belly country. And that's when you knew that she had a kid or three. Because it was, well, how do you describe such an enigma?
Was it floppy down there?
It was a bit, there was cushion for the pushing. That's what I'll say.
But she did actually take her underwear off, right?
Well, the entire time she was dancing and everything, I thought she had a tampon sticking out the bottom.
No.
Wow.
No, this is what I was saying.
Fashioned out of a paper towel like the settlers did.
What?
She had a piercing.
What the fuck?
She had a what?
Oh man, you got lots of
saying,
questions, not that many answers at the Clermont Lounge. It is I just saw something sticking out that reminded me of a paper towel, and I'm like, well, I have an idea of what goes on.
Hey, you
down
make
there.
do at the Clermont Lounge.
I can't even. I don't know how I'd handle that. I might actually throw up a little in my mouth.
She needed that extra 20 for the tampons.
Listen to me. It was a piercing. I saw it. She had a piercing.
Oh.
See, it's all coming so clear now.
Oh, we didn't even mention all the lights on all the parts that normally you're not, your eyes are drawn to it anyway because of millions of years of genetic evolution to the private parts of a lady. But all of the ladies seem to have just flashing lights like the kind you'd see in a shot glass at a overpriced bar where it's like, oh, here's a flashing light one. Yeah,
they
all
had
that
piercings with flashing lights on them.
No, it was just, in their underwear. Or...
Took them as butt plugs or something.
No,
butt plugs.
It's par for the course,
fantasy. That's Brad's fantasy take.
I can see that.
I know it's the tech. It's the merging of technology and sex. Products.
Okay, so Brad gets that's done. She doesn't really do more during.
She doesn't really, spice it up. Maybe she does it with a bit higher of an intensity. But I think at my end when I gave her stripper report card, I didn't actually say anything to her. You
didn't tell her what you told me, which was that's the second worst lap dance I've ever had.
Well, I told you why it was the second worst lap dance too, and it was because she didn't touch my dick at all.
And you couldn't grab her ass either.
I tried. I got my little tricks. I don't know if I want to reveal all of the magician's secrets on the podcast, but I've got a trick for trying my limits.
What was the worst then?
The worst was when I went to Cheaters and was expecting one thing and got something completely different, which is I expected a lap dance, got a table dance.
I thought you were gonna say something worse, like lap dance. I got a finger in my ass.
So
That would have taken it to the top
could
of the
have happened
list.
once at Cheaters, but I was shut that shit down real quick because I was like, this is not what I came back here for.
So that was our foray into our own personal dances, but I want to touch on a dance that we did see happen, and that was from a stripper that we lovingly named Bo Peep. And that was a woman that I will generously say was in her 60s.
Yeah, I was gonna go if she was in her 60s, not looking generous.
I will say she was in her 60s with gray hair, dressed like Bo Peep with the blue dress.
Wow, that's beyond cougar. That's turkey vulture.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually a real.
Good name for that.
You say it with the memory I have in my head, and I'm like, yeah, that adds up.
So
Taking that one, Dave.
yeah, so I saw a guy that he had gotten a dance from Gabriella, and then he went straight into Bo Peep. And Bo Peep, her move, and it was, I'm gonna say, yeah, it was a little depressing. She would, she would just stand there and just kind of, and then
Little
she
shuffle.
she'd do a little shuffle. I mean, gray hair, old. And
Gray hair,
perm.
probably
Fucked up,
with
like
like a
pink-
blonde tint to it.
like
Just
pink lipstick, yeah.
But the blonde tint is just the smoke.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's all the cigarette smoke.
And
Please
she would,
tell me
like-
some dentures came out.
oh god, that would have made me ejaculate right then.
So she had two moves. One was to pull her top down to like just below her titties and just kind of do this, just kind of shake them like that, so you could barely see her nipples. Just do this. And then the other move was, and
How do you describe it? It's
it
hard.
was like, okay, it was like she was a little kid and some creepo was trying to get her to pull up her skirt.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Because she was just like, it was like this slow, like she would lift her skirt up like this, and then she had the lights on her underwear. So it was like, it was in this dude's face, and she would just have like a green and blue blinking light where her underwear was, and she was just like, kind of just going back and forth.
I mean,
like
how
this.
how was her body though?
What song was playing to this?
It's a blur.
I could not.
They were playing good music, like all the songs they were putting on. I was like, oh shit, this song.
It was, dance club kind of shit.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like Dust in the Wind or something.
So she never touched him. She just stood in front of him. She did this one, and then she shyly lifted her.
Let's just say pour some sugar on me.
But so that was the that was the one that I later on said I wish I could have gotten that dance just to tell the story of that was me.
Yeah.
Me too. But,
So I get the full Clermont Lounge experience. But yeah, they had different girls too the whole time, and they ranged from widely. Let's just say widely.
we had some point after that, we posted up at the back of the horseshoe, partially to avoid Gabriella and her track.
Yeah, I was afraid she was gonna remember I said that, and she was gonna hunt me down.
Yeah. That could happen. By the way, they just remember that for the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, we posted up on the backside of the bar, and it was still packed in there, and still like it was the easiest experience I've ever had going to a restroom at a fully packed bar where everybody's like cool, like oh yeah, I'll get out of your way. But we were in the back, and we got to see some dances. One of which was by Steve-O, a BBW kind of gal. Yeah, she had caught
They probably do pretty well in a place like that.
People loved it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we loved it.
Bo Peep did a dance too, and I mean it was the same thing. She mostly just stood there on the table and did her thing, but everybody would just no matter who it was, everybody was having a good time.
Super. Yeah, that's what I remember you guys saying. Is everyone was super supportive of all the girls. That's what, man. It's such a. cool and weird place.
Everybody was having so much fun in that place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was fun.
I would be going there once a week. If it was in town,
Yeah.
I'd be hanging out there all the time.
If they had karaoke every night.
Yeah, oh my
Every
God.
night. Every night.
That would
Clermont
be
Lounge.
so fun.
Yeah. I bet they do probably would have it.
Well, we are definitely looking for reasons to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, we're trying to already find reasons, excuses to go back to Atlanta. But let's move on to top off Brad and Nathan's best night ever.
We're not going to talk about Afro Girl.
No. Oh, you wanted to bring her up? Yeah, you can bring her up if you like.
I mean, she was like a 9 out of 10, even on the standard strip club scale. Like she was a 9 out of 10, and she was working it. And I guess we don't have to go that deep into it, but there were some lookers, but you could. I mean, we kind of gathered from facts that we had picked up at the night that she was not interested in the penis as much.
She danced for another woman for a very long time.
And then no more dances were seen
Yeah.
from her. But she was definitely the pick of the litter, I guess I would have to say. Besides Australian Girl, if you're out there. But well, on our way out, you're drunk, you got the munchies, and you're just talking shit to whoever's going to listen to you. And when we were walking out, the guy who's checking IDs, I'd ask him, "Hey, this is Atlanta. You know where you get some chicken waffles at this hour?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." And he tells us go 4 lights down, and we go to the Majestic, which is, I guess, the equivalent of a Waffle House if a Waffle House was clean and run like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and slightly geared toward hipsters, just a little bit.
It definitely had the hipster guide to it. Like all the menus were on an LCD screen, and it would change around and shit. Like how you go to a Burger King or a McDonald's in 2019 to one of the new ones.
So yeah, I don't think we really need to belabor all of our eating choices, but we did get chicken and waffles. We did get hash browns with chorizo and other things, and we sat there for a good hour, and that was great. It was a good top off to Nathan and Brad's Atlanta adventure.
And then Brad
That's where
wisely
we
decided
became
not to
BFFs forever.
BFFs
Well,
forever.
I honestly thought
Best
Nathan
friends
was going to
forever.
get tired of me at some point, but we had a good night, so that's why I sprung the question on. Like, hey, I'll ride with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why,
We
Yeah.
rode back. He skipped his plane flight. We had a good time, man. We had a lot of fun.
It was the
Yeah.
first time I've ever completely just skipped a plane flight, just like fuck it.
Me and Bekah were joking about it because it was going to be one of us picking up Brad from the airport, but how funny would it be if Nathan picked him up? Like if both of us were working and it worked out where it would make more sense for Nathan to pick him up from the airport. Like Brad just flew down and Nathan has to go pick him up.
He's just waiting around for
That would be be a quiet car ride. It was a good time. Like that was a car ride too. Even though I was just forcing Nathan to listen to Weather Channel the entire time.
Just
The
about
Weather
the whole
Channel
time.
music from last podcast.
Oh,
we got an autoplay going, so we get about 20-30 seconds of the song just going through, looping
Great.
through.
Plowing them through.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
y'all were listening to the Weather Channel
Yeah.
station, website, whatever.
Stopped
So, yeah.
in St. Augustine.
Yeah, I went to St. Augustine, got south of Philly, got the Philly cheesesteaks, and Brad
yeah.
does approve. Becca's had those too.
Anytime I'm going to St.
Awesome.
Augustine, I got to strong arm the group. Like, nah, we're not going to stupid ass Italian restaurant. No. We are going to south of Philly, baby.
You don't have to strong arm me.
The Philly cheesesteaks were good.
So yeah, that was one of the most fun days I've ever had. It was great. So
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
dude.
we had a
Aw.
lot of fun.
Me too.
Yeah, it was true. It's true.
How
Yeah,
sweet.
now we're just hunting for reasons to go to Clermont Lounge. What, you want to go chicken and waffles? You want real chicken and waffles? Let's go to Atlanta. I'm looking up flights right now.
So last night,
Yeah.
we're down here and we did our karaoke. We did it.
Yeah, we had a great
I
time.
really didn't expect you to go up, Nathan. I honestly didn't.
I've never seen it. Last night was the first time I saw that. It was awesome.
He killed it though. He did good.
I mean, we can just go ahead and give you a preview right here.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and if you're already following us on Twitter at _verbal_assault_, then you may have already seen this posted. We'll post the others up there in the coming days. But here, let's see, young Nathan.
No, not this one.
Someone's trying to sing along.
That's
I can't
enough.
tell who
That's
it is.
enough. It sounds like shit.
Yeah.
It sounds like shit because of the audio quality, not the performance.
I just figured it was bandwidth issues on.
Well, it might sound shitty to y'all, but here, I want to get the end just because it's so funny.
He's grinning it. Oh my God, he's happy.
Oh, she's already done it. Hold on. I gotta get this part where Bekah realizes that she's singing while I'm recording.
You need me to shut up?
And I'm just nodding.
Okay, see, I did 2 more songs though, and you didn't get either of
I
those
know,
songs.
because the way they had it was you were after me every time, and when you get off stage, you're just like, you know, it's kind of adrenaline or whatever. It just you're not thinking.
He's still
about
hype,
that.
man. He's still hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the reason I did that is that doesn't bother me. I don't care
Okay.
if you were
It
singing
happens.
along with that.
Who's not gonna sing along with Cake? You know.
Yeah, I have this thing where I try to do things that I'm afraid to do, and so this is one of those things that makes me nervous. So I really have wanted to do it. I don't really have a need to perform, but I wanted to do it because I didn't want to do it.
Right. Yeah. And
Gotcha.
and you were the one that suggested it, but I guess
Yeah.
was this your first time doing karaoke?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I
see,
actually,
didn't realize
when I
that.
was a kid in church, I was actually the lead in a few plays. So I would sing in front of hundreds of people in the church.
Right. Okay.
But not since I was like 12 years old have I done that. So,
Right.
It's been a while.
yeah,
But you
it
at
was a
least
lot of
knew
fun.
enough to know that you could carry a tune.
Kind of, I'm not great, but I know I can kind of carry a tune.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's the same. It's
Yeah.
the same way I feel.
You
know,
did
it's like,
good.
I can do it enough that you know what song I'm singing.
Yeah, I'm not. I hopefully don't depress anybody in the crowd like
Right.
that one guy did.
Right.
You did better than my old Red.
No, we all did great on everything we did.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. All right.
Yeah,
I'll read up on
the
it.
the guy running the karaoke definitely preferred us.
Oh,
He
was
told
giving
me-
me
Yeah, no, he
props.
loved us.
He was giving me
enjoying
props every
us.
time.
Yeah.
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 He told me specifically, first off, he told me I had beautiful feet. Second off, he told me that,
The thing Bekah is most happy about.
he also, every time he called me up, he said, beautiful Bekah, I think he likes me. All right.
Yeah.
So then
You want
one
to fuck
time,
a fat guy? It's only $20.
That's
Name's
yeah,
Big
that's-
Daddy.
His words.
his name is Big Daddy. Okay. So, what was I going to say? What were we talking about?
Fucking a fat dude.
No. Oh, he said we were the talent corner.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, yeah, Nathan, we got shots from the bartender. I think Joy was drunk and you were on stage, and that's why she didn't count you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was singing.
We
I
did
was like,
not
where
order
the fuck
those
is
shots.
mine?
We did not order those shots.
Yeah, yeah.
promise
She
you.
just brought us those Jello, and she had another one in her hand, but I think she lost track of what she was doing, and she never set it down, and I didn't feel right being like, "Hey, what about that one?"
Hey,
Yeah.
give us that other free one that we didn't ask for either.
Right.
And this is a good time. Hopefully, we can point out that hopefully none of those were in her butthole.
They were sealed. I mean,
Hopefully.
she was at one point getting up on the bar, laying face down, and putting those Jello shots right in her butt.
I think that.
I mean, she had jeans
pants
on.
on.
She did have jeans on, but I'm still not sticking my face in an old lady bartender's butt.
Speak for yourself.
Unless I'm at the Clermont Lounge, yeah. Unless that's the case. But yeah, so there were some dudes having fun taking those shots, butt shots. I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah.
I've heard of the belly shot, but
She
not
took
the-
a
No,
shot
they're
out
butt
of
shots,
one of their butts, I think, or
Did
somebody
she?
did.
I believe
Might have
so.
been.
Yeah.
I was singing Emerson, Lake and Palmer's "Lucky Man" while they were doing it, and they were pointing to the guy that was getting the shot and going, "He's a lucky man."
Played to the crowd well. Yeah.
Well, I think the one that stole the show, and I am gonna play it. It doesn't sound as bad over here, so check it out.
All the time I turn around, folks get around, always looking at me up and down, looking at my. I just want to say no. I ain't trying to. It all coming off just a little bit conceited. Keep on repeating how the voice went to my butt up, but I can't be true to the butt up. They think she delicious, so delicious, but I ain't.
Wow.
Suspicious, all that shit is fictitious. I would kiss that pussy and boys on rock, and they be lying down the block just to watch what I got. 4 takes 2. Body's getting vicious. I be up in the gym, just working on my business. He's my witness. Rock, and he be lying down the block just to watch what I got. So vicious.
Yeah, there you go. That was
Absolutely
the one.
perfect.
Yeah,
it was
that
a perfect
was awesome.
performance. It was so good.
Flawless, as is tradition for us.
I know. Just kidding. I was very drunk.
No, you still nailed it. I'm like, yeah, she's got the hard part. All I have to do is yell woo wee and spell some shit.
Yeah, that part seemed like that would be real easy to lose track of what you're doing, the spelling shit.
It's good when
I mean,
you have
the rapping part
the
too,
lyrics.
but yeah, it's right there. But
Oh yeah, no, it was more just like try to dance with some energy. I was a background dancer for that song.
I had
So
all kinds of energy. I was dancing all night last night. It was so fun. I had so much fun.
that was one of those nights where, well, because the night before had me the next day, which was yesterday, trying to figure out ways that I could not have to go out because I was hurting bad after whatever Monday night. But I was so glad that I went, and I was like I'll probably do one song and and that'll be it. And I was not expecting to close the bar, which we did, and I was like, okay, well, if I really start feeling like shit, then I can just leave and Bekah could drive him home, and I was like, okay, well, I got this worked out. But it just kept going, and I paced myself. I was feeling shitty, so I think I ended up with like maybe 5 beers throughout the entire night. But it was just a great night. Did a lot of songs I'd never done before. I think everybody did. I don't know if Bekah did any songs she'd never done, but
I did.
Obviously, Nathan did songs he'd never done for karaoke, and I think Brad did too. We're just killing it, round robin.
Yeah, I never did Old Red or Dragula.
Yeah.
I had quite the juxtaposition of songs.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra and whoever sings.
It's Dean Martin, Rob Zombie, Blake Shelton, and the Doors.
Martin, right.
And
all together?
No, not at the same
All at
time.
once.
Yeah, one super performance.
Yeah.
One
And
time
missed
only.
out. Then we had a wonderful duet of Grundy County Auction that went very well.
Oh yeah, that one.
It always goes
That's
well.
always like.
That's the first time we had done it, but it was he just said, "You get the high, I get the low," and I'm like, "Okay."
No, that was like the second or third time we'd done that song.
Was it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I definitely know we've done that before.
Oh,
But
I don't remember, but get to know I can do that song blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You let me go first. We got no problems here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's like, you want the first part or the first verse, or the second verse? I was like, yeah, I don't care. I can go first if you want. And he's like, well, I know the first verse a little bit better.
I know all that song, but I'm just like I'll start it off and I'll start it off with a energy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you can match it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We did great.
All right, Dave.
Yo.
I want to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about.
Oh. All right.
I heard you wanted to talk about something.
Oh, it's just a news article.
What
but
you
the
got?
picture
That
is
news?
fucking funny, man.
It's a great picture.
Show us a funny ass picture.
Now, I don't know if it's possible people are faking this shit and they talk about this. But look at both of those people are asleep.
Can I see this, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh,
The guy in the "Let's Go to Mexico" ads asleep too.
Yeah, maybe. You can't tell.
Oh, there is two guys in the car. Okay.
Well, I think there's a woman in the passenger
it's
seat.
a guy and a girl.
Oh, I've seen this
They're
today.
both sleeping.
And,
Who
the
sleeps
Tesla
with their head all the
driver.
way forward like that unless you're on drugs?
I mean, the article is kind of boring. It just talks about how they could make it better. But I saw the picture and, I read the article and thought, holy crap, man. Those are both asleep. But, as you read the article, it says, some people have faked this stuff. But I did not know that Tesla warns you by torque on the steering wheel.
Yeah, you gotta tweak it a little. You gotta give it a little shake just to let you know, or just to let it know that you're still awake.
Is it like a haptic thing? Like it vibrates, or it actually?
It just says it measures torque.
You give it a little wiggle.
Yeah, I remember Elon saying was saying you do have to put your hands on it once in a while.
Right. Yeah, and I guess just it's not like a touch sensor necessarily. It's just the fact that you put your hand on there. There's going to be some wiggle. Just because you're touching it.
I just do not get how people can put that complete trust in that.
I'm with you. And I was worried about selling the whole article thing. My circadian rhythms are off. I have not slept right. And Borderlands 3 is coming out tomorrow, so I've got to go to bed after work so I can play it late. So but this whole thing, I cannot trust a vehicle that much to sleep.
I bet if you owned one and you drove it around long enough and you test it, I mean, it's just like any new car, over time, you kind of test little this, little that, okay, every new car I've ever had, I at some point when I need to get on the brakes hard, I'll downshift just to see what it feels like. Whether it's automatic or manual, obviously you're going to be downshifting, but on an automatic, I'll downshift at some point just to see how the car handles it. Right? Like it's just these little tests you do as you are getting to know the car, and I think it'd be the same thing with a Tesla. Like over time, you test little things like you're in interstate traffic where supposedly they do very well and keeping their lane and following a certain distance behind a car, and at some point you have a level of confidence that you would lean your head forward and act like you're asleep.
That's way forward. I mean, I look at
he's not looking at the road at all.
He's too high right now. That's
what struck me about this was, I mean, and I don't want to blur too much together here, but the reason why this article spoke to me today was, like I said, my circadian rhythms are off. I got off work yesterday. I had a terrible headache, and I ended up going to bed at 9. And of course, I woke up at fucking 3 in the morning, boop, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And I'm supposed to play Borderlands when it goes live at midnight tomorrow. The following day with Joe Call, because I can't play Borderlands unless he pops my Borderlands cherry. Right. And I thought this is one of those things where you go, I'll just stay up and sleep on the drive into work tomorrow. I mean, it's almost like because you've become confident with it, you go, it's okay just to sleep on the way to work.
Well, yeah, I think that'd be a dumb thing to do. Stupid people will do that.
Especially, okay, if you're we live in the country in Tennessee, and Google does not, if you just use Google Maps as an example, Google Maps does not know where it has trouble tracking to places. It has trouble finding. If you live in a house that's got a long driveway and that house happens to be closer to this street over here, it's gonna want to send you to this street on this side. It's not even gonna send you to the street you want to be on.
Right.
So when I see stuff like that, and people talk about, we'll have automated pizza delivery cars, and we'll have automated. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen anytime soon. And then I think about some of the roads being fucked up, or maybe there's some dirt on the road and the lines aren't visible, or
some.
And I just think I think no, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna fucking just let this robot take over and do that. Right. I get nervous. I get nervous with a real person driving. It's hard for me to sleep with somebody on an interstate. It's hard for me to sleep if somebody else is driving.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I don't even think Google's been here since 2006. To run the roads with their little camera cars and shit. But I could be wrong. But I thought 2006 was the last time. But I'm with Nathan. I couldn't trust it. We've had to rescue people because they use GPS too much, and it says to go this way, and they end up not knowing where the hell they're at. So, especially in inclement weather, and after a bad storm here, how all the debris on the road, the tree limbs and everything.
Yeah.
How does I mean, you sometimes have to straddle something because it's in the road, and if you're just letting the car drive, and there's fucking shit in the road, its hands
like, I can't do this.
Let me give a good example. When I was coming down to Atlanta, I was behind. I was in the left lane. It was 3 lanes. Everybody's going 80 miles an hour. I had a truck pulling a boat directly in front of me, and one of that guy's tires just completely exploded and shredded.
Whoa!
And that tire flew out right in front of me, and I had to dodge one piece, and then I dodged another.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Is a Tesla car going to see that?
I don't think so.
If it sees it, I don't know that it knows how to respond to it.
Right.
Yeah, because I have to. I'm having to look over here and go. Can I? I have to. All this stuff you have to think about.
You need to be defensive driving at that. You need to already know where your outs are.
Which is how I've never been in a wreck, because that's how my dad taught me to drive. Right. And you have to instantly think, okay, can I swerve this way, or do I need to go this way? And you just do it immediately. And and then this guy, it happened, and he pulled over onto the left shoulder. So I've got to look at that, as I'm going by, and and seeing, and at the same time, okay, how are these people reacting to it? Is this person going to freak out and do something stupid?
Yeah, I had a situation like that driving on the interstate with in a minivan with a trailer, or maybe it was Trogdor, the big conversion van. Anyway, it was a van with a trailer, and it was coming up over the crest of a hill on the interstate, and then all of a sudden, this wreck had just happened. Like there were car parts still sliding. We didn't see the impact or what caused it, but there were things still. And I think I had 4 lanes before me, and there was one little sliver of opening where there were no tires and bumpers and shattered glass and stuff, where I had to shift over quickly and get into that one slot and make it through. And no, they're definitely not there now. Will they ever be able to handle something like that? I don't know.
I mean, if you're not impaired and you're a good driver, you can avoid a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's asking a lot. This motherfucker's sleeping like that in the fucking car, though. I mean, the passenger's not even going, hey, watch out, watch out.
Right.
I mean, how many times has the passenger in any vehicle involuntarily said something while you're driving? Even though if you see it, the passenger usually goes, hey, 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 but no, man, they're just checked out. They finished breakfast, a lot of bacon, some waffles and pancakes, a lot of milk. They're just done.
So my question would be, do you place the blame on Tesla?
No.
I mean, I know there's a lot of these. They obviously they have their fine print for using autopilot. You are still responsible, and you have to agree to blah blah blah. But should it not even be offered?
I don't know.
It's
to
like,
me, I say
like
personally, I
control.
say fuck your robot cars.
It's
I
like
say fuck them.
but it's like cruise control. I use
Yeah,
cruise
fuck
control
that.
all the
I
time.
want automatic.
I use cruise control religiously.
Yeah, me too. To maintain
Never
my
use it.
speed and make sure I'm not speeding.
Well,
But I'm still
that's one
very
reason.
aware.
I do it because of the moral, superiority of it. My speed's not changing.
You're the one that's changing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm staying the same.
You're doing the pass, follow, pass, follow, pass, follow, not me.
Yeah.
I'm driving to the right. I'm passing on the left. Let me over. Don't block me out. My speed's not changing, you stupid fuck.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess you're right. I mean, they shouldn't offer it. But at some point, in order to advance that technology, somebody's got to try it.
Yeah.
I just think that, I hate to say it, but I just think that people are just going to take advantage of it, honestly.
But statistically, it is better. Right? Hasn't it?
I heard that. It's in the article, but my argument to that is the sampling is so small.
True.
That you go, well, it's safer. Well, yeah, there's only 3,000 of the cars on the road at any given time. I mean, it's not a valid statistic. It's the control group. There's, et cetera, et cetera.
Right,
but
right.
I agree with Dave on that. But also my bigger issue with the automated cars is I see if Elon really gets his way, what I think he wants is every car is going to be this way one day. And I kind of feel that what's going to happen is at some point insurance companies are going to require, okay, everybody has to do this. And then government will get involved and nobody's going to be free to actually drive your own car. If you are, you'll have to get a special license and you'll probably pay out of the ass for insurance. So like on days I've had free here, what have I done? I've gone and just driven around the beach. I've driven around the river over here. I just like to get out and explore and see what's around.
Right.
Okay, one day that you might not, kids won't even know how to drive. People won't know how to drive. And, and that does take into account that, okay, those fucking crazy things that happen on the road, are they going to be able to deal with those things when they happen? Because maybe the cars won't be able to deal with the tire exploding or whatever.
Right.
But I want the freedom to choose to drive
Yeah.
when I want to fucking do it. And
I
I
agree.
don't like this idea that someday, the fucking robots are going to take over.
And, you can't, the income disparity across the social dynamic of our society is not going to allow every car to be, driven by somebody else.
Then there's always going to be people driving 20 or 30-year-old cars. And at some point, yes,
right?
At some point, it'll get to the point where those 20 or 30-year-old cars will have been built with the autopilot kind of shit. But that stuff fails over time. As a car gets older, your cruise control might stop working. And your autopilot might start having glitches and it doesn't detect something, or maybe the little cameras and sensors that detect these things, they've got their lenses are cracked or whatever, and they're getting false readings and stuff. So it's going to get to the point where, every car on the road at one point when it was new, had the autopilot, but the sensors and things, they start to go out over time.
Yeah,
it does seem like unrealistic that you could expect every single car on the road to have this thing.
It just can't be.
It can't.
One day, let's assume that we don't all die from some nuclear cataclysm or whatever. I could see one day that being the case, but it's outside of our lifetimes.
You need global prosperity.
And part of the issue here is, I see it's the duality of it is we're enforcing laws or enacting laws and hopefully enforcing them no texting while driving, keep your phone away from you. You need to pay attention to the road. But yet we're designing technology that says, nope, you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, you
So,
don't need to be good at this.
we're going to go from not touching our phones to back to touching our phones because, well, the car's taking care of everything. And, one of my nervous, as a parent, every time one of my kids gets in a new car, the car is a different size. The brake pedal is going to respond differently than the last car you had.
Right.
The blind spots are all different. That first few months where you're getting in a car that you're unfamiliar with, your accident likelihood is higher.
Absolutely. When
Because-
I got the Prius, I was scared to death because my I felt like it was full of blind spots, and I still do
Yeah.
sometimes. Like the beams on either side of my windshield are much thicker than cars I've had in the past, and there have been times that there'll be like a bicyclist doing something, and the timing will be just right that they'll make a weird move, and then I won't even see them until that last second, and I'll be like, holy shit, I'm so glad I didn't just hit them.
I have an issue with that in roundabouts.
Uh-huh.
Where somebody is right in that spot where that beam is, and there's been a couple times where I've had to really hit the brakes to not come out and hit somebody that's coming around that thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I have there's a location that I go to in our area where when I'm at a stop sign, it's almost like the blind spot's 5 feet wide, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got caught a couple times going, wow, I just didn't even see them.
Right.
And I stopped.
Yeah.
They always say your eyes are, you can see things better if you're stopped and something's moving. But if you're moving and you're trying to watch something, your vision's going to be a little skewed.
Right.
So even having been stopped and still miss something, that's scary, man. So I don't know. That's a very interesting question. To go back to, should they even do it at all? I guess the whole point of what got me on this was my lack of sleep, seeing this, and I thought it was kind of funny in my personal situation that somebody was just choosing to sleep on their way to wherever they were going.
Right.
But the deeper question, which I hadn't expected, was should they even offer it? Because it's most likely going to be abused. Or is it?
Well, it will be abused, but by how many people? I mean, are
there
going to be enough people out there that actually take driving seriously enough that...
I feel like
we're too busy.
I think there must be a better way to wake up the driver if they're doing that shit. There has to be a more...
I mean, there is a timer, and if you don't respond to it trying to wake you up, it will just pull over.
Yeah,
but even that can be unsafe.
Well, this article actually suggests some other technologies that would prevent it other than what's in place, which is facial recognition, looking for the eyes on the road, a camera on the dash that actually is watching the driver.
Right.
It should shoot water right in your face.
Right? I mean, how is
energy drink in your mouth?
I mean, if you are a deep sleeper, what is it going to take? A shock collar, for God's sakes? Hey, wake up! You end up pissing yourself a little bit because you get a little electric shock around your neck, so you don't run off the road. But I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be offered. I mean, we just talked about an article a few podcasts ago where the cars are going to be in 2020. They've got to have sound. When they're going lower than 20 miles an hour. Remember?
Yeah.
12 miles an hour, the car has to have an artificial sound because people walking a crosswalk are either looking at their phone or, I mean, it's designed for deaf people, but we all see people walking down the streets and in bigger cities, and they're not even paying attention to what's going on around them.
Hey, guys, hold on. If you want to talk for just a minute, if I don't go and take a piss right now, I'm going to die.
Okay.
So. Keep talking just for a minute.
Well, I was going to say that there's a sound that my car makes when I'm going slow, and I don't know. Maybe it does it whenever I'm going fast too. But it just dawned on me that there is this sound that my car makes when the engine is off and it's in electric mode, and I just creep forward. And the first time I heard it, I thought that my brakes were scraping. It sounded kind of like that, like a whenever I'm just creeping forward, less than 10 miles an hour or whatever. It's just like this. And of course I asked the Toyota technicians, and they were like, I don't know, it's just an electric motor or something. But I wonder if something was done to have that sound be in there, so that if I'm creeping up on somebody, they'll hear something. It doesn't sound like an engine, but it's like it sounds like a scraping sound.
Well, the cars weren't supposed to get an update. I don't know if it's going to apply to older vehicles because it's going to be a software update.
But I'm wondering if it was something they just proactively did. Like, well, this car's really quiet when the gas motor is off.
I can't imagine that sound being the sound they chose, though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you would think it would be I don't know. Doesn't make much sense either way.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the hybrids are the way to go, and eventually.
Oh, I feel like a new man.
Dude, I don't know what kind of pistol you got, but that was quick.
That was so fast. Well, he is.
Toilet is literally right there. It's right there.
Yeah, but you still have to eliminate the bladder. It was almost like you just went in there and threw some water on your face.
That was a long piss.
He's got a very fat urethra.
That's what I was gonna say.
It just falls.
Somebody did tell me.
It's like skadoosh. And
somebody did tell me that at the Clermont Lounge.
You can thank the Clermont Lounge.
Well, that's my bit. I mean, I guess we kind of beat the hell out of it.
Beat the hell out of it. I know we're actually we've gone long a little bit, but I want to hear what Bekah had to talk about before we close this out.
Let me pull up. I took a screenshot. All right, so there's this new board game that came out, and it is it's a remix of a classic that we all know and love. It's called Ms. Monopoly. Ms. Monopoly.
Well, because we don't want to assume whether she's married or not.
You don't have
to.
It's none of your business. That's what I was always told.
Your fucking business.
What does Ms. mean? It means it's none of your business if I'm married or not.
Yep. We never thought we'd see people get so worked up over a board game, but here we are. Hasbro has just launched a woman-centric version of the classic game Monopoly that they've named Ms. Monopoly. In the game, players invest in various inventions created by women. Where the game gets controversial is the rule that female characters must make more money than male counterparts.
Wow.
Equality.
Right. Sounds fair.
Wait, the people that actually play the game? If you're female, you have a
straight from the rules. Unlike the classic game, women will collect 240 Monopoly bucks when they pass go, while male players collect the usual 200.
You know
what? I mean, that's not earning more. That's just getting more.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very silly. It was not well thought out by Hasbro.
As are most feminist ideas.
Do you know how much I would love to play this game with a group of, let's say, social justice feminist types, and as it's my turn to start, I say, for the purpose of this game, I identify as female. Call me Natalie, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Call yourself Gabrielle. I'm Gabrielle, bro.
Call me Gabriella, and I'm ready to smash the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Give me all the money.
My favorite thought about this so far is what the player pieces would be for this game.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like a tampon?
Tampon.
The shoe
Lipstick.
gets changed to women don't want to wear high heels. No. Man, we have to really think about this. If it's like equality, because women making the same amount.
They get the same boring shoe that the men get. And they're not happy with
there's a rape whistle.
A rape whistle. How can you tell between that and the tampon?
One's got a little thing in the side and one doesn't.
Was that the paper towel that was in her vagina from the
It's a
strip
paper
club
towel,
that Nathan
yeah.
was using?
Oh,
It's
she's
just
been
a paper
playing
towel.
Miss
I still-
Monopoly.
Yeah.
I'm still using it. Yeah.
So if we translate, what are some of the dogs? There's a top hat. What would the top hat be if it were a woman?
It's got to be
Pussy
like one
hat.
of those giant Kentucky Derby hats.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I get
It's
that.
a Kentucky
So what about
Derby
the dog?
hat that says no means no
What
on
about
it.
the little doggy?
The dog
little-
is
Be a
fine.
cat.
Dog
Yeah,
can
I would
stay,
think
but put it in
so.
a purse.
It's a cat.
The dog is in the
Oh,
purse.
Yeah.
Okay, now the thimble we're just gonna fucking do away with altogether.
Yeah.
No,
Well, because of
Mhm.
what that
The
says.
thimble is
Yeah.
a glass of wine.
Yeah, okay, we'll turn it into a wine glass. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can't be a thimble because that has the domestic.
You could do a
fucking
vibrator. A vibrator.
Okay, but everything is phallic. The rape whistle, the tampon, the vibrator, it's all phallic.
Yeah, but
Right?
vibrator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but
gotta start from square one.
But see, feminists they used to say that a vibrator, it was like that's freedom from a man. That's
Right.
a replacement.
Yeah, in
It's
like the
still
worst
a-
way.
A replica of a part of a man.
Can we get a picture of this game? I mean, I'm
Oh,
serious.
Sorry. Yeah, I should totally be on that.
Listen to somebody's tweet about it. Just eating Lady Doritos while I play Ms. Monopoly this weekend with my cuck husband.
Oh
Did
my
you find a
God.
picture?
There's tons.
Yeah, lots of pictures.
Can we see it?
Oh yeah, you should be able to.
Okay. There we
Look
go.
at her. Look how high
Oh
powered
shit,
she
that's
is.
very small. Very small. Come on.
He's
give me a
like
big- oh,
of
here we
a-
go.
A properly ambiguous ethnicity on the
Yeah.
cover. It's
Yeah.
like a
What the
little
hell?
bit
What's
of
with all these
everything.
small photos. They look bigger on this. On the
This is
preview.
amazing. That whole pass and go thing just
I like
that
how
flies
there's
all over me actually.
I like
mean-
how there's one white one and then
I
one
know-
darker one.
Yeah, I know they
Oh.
changed. I know they changed like the thing, like utility or whatever is Wi-Fi. They changed all of the stuff in it to be.
That's okay.
Modern
but
related.
I get that, and that's okay. But I mean, if it's about equal pay, and let's use the soccer teams for example, they don't want to be paid more; they want to be paid equally. So the old rules actually are accurate.
You're right.
Everybody gets $200 when they pass go.
Yeah. It's
but
all
in this
equal.
game,
That's
it's
equality,
not.
right?
I gotta. Whew,
Well-
I gotta put off.
So
I'm
here's
about to
their
rage.
reasoning. Here's their reasoning. It's going off the myth that in the West men make 20% more than equal pay, more than equal work for women. Men just make 20% more. You got the same job, they make 20% more, which is a myth. It's not true.
Right.
It doesn't take, and we've talked about this many times, it doesn't take into account work hours, overtime, all these things and the type of job that you have. Yeah, if you take all the money that men make and all the money that women make and just average it together, there are men are making 20% more. And they take that to mean, oh, we're working the same job and that dude's just making 20% more
Yeah,
because
it's
the
a
man's
totally
just keeping the
wrong
woman
way
down.
of reading the data.
Right. And if you actually take those things into account, it's equal. So they're trying to take that and say, well, the women are going to make 20% more in this game, and that's going to even it out, is what they're trying to say. But
Because they're saying that what they're saying is women suck at Monopoly and they need this extra boost.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a handicap.
it is demeaning. It's demeaning.
It is.
Sore losers.
I mean, and in golf, I don't know if you guys golf much, if you've ever golfed much. I haven't golfed in a while, but
I used to a lot. I don't. Yeah.
I
Putt-putt.
generally enjoy the
Putt-putt
game,
golf.
but I don't take it seriously. I mean, there are pro tees, there are regular tees, and there are ladies tees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But that's
I don't-
because in
Right?
general, and a lady is totally allowed to use the white tees, the red
She
tees,
is.
the gold tees, whatever she wants.
Yep.
Maybe they should change the name.
To
Whatever.
Ms. Golf.
To Ms.
Golf.
Golf tees.
I mean, if you couldn't get 150 yards, we'd always say, "Hey, man, you got to go shoot from the ladies' tees with your pants down or something." I mean, but I mean, $240 to pass go versus $200. That just is incredible.
Yeah.
This is how
because
my
it's an
family
intellectual game. It's not. It has nothing to do with your physical prowess. It's just intellectual. How good are you with buying properties and selling? And it has nothing to do with.
It makes me want to buy the game and beat a woman.
Yeah.
physically or
Hey, wait a minute.
Are those two separate things?
Oh,
And it's like, all right, let's play Miss Monopoly. And look, I still got more money than you and whooped your ass, and you got $40 more every turn.
Okay.
How's that equality?
That
Okay.
kind of beat.
Oh,
Kind of beat.
we all thought you meant physically beat.
Oh, really?
I don't know why
I
any,
take that, Dave.
I don't understand why any of you are acting like you're upset by this, because tell me one legitimate time you've ever enjoyed playing Monopoly anyway.
I mean,
It makes everybody mad.
No,
It's always made everybody mad.
Oh no, not me. No,
I
I used to play.
I only get mad during the 5th hour of Monopoly. That's about it. It's
Yeah.
like, when is this fucking game over?
Hour number 2.
My dad had a girlfriend for a long time that me and her would stay up late and play Monopoly, just one-on-one, which is really the worst way to play Monopoly is just one-on-one. But yeah, we totally did it, and we'd play multiple games in a night. One-on-one games do actually go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So the last time I played Monopoly is when I went back to college. This would have been like 6-7 years ago. And this was in a sociology class, which was the most bullshit anger inducing class.
That was the easiest class I took in all of high school.
Oh, but it was infuriating. And during class, I had, you had to get in groups. So I'm playing I'm fucking at the time, I guess, let's say I'm 30 years old, somewhere in there, and I'm playing Monopoly with 3 18-year-old girls and like one dude. But the thing is, we're playing real world Monopoly, and what that means is somebody's the rich player, and he starts, he or she starts with all the cash, and then you're starting as the really poor player, and we're going to teach you about why society and the world is just evil because the poor player doesn't have a chance and the rich person is just going to get everything. And let's go out and start fucking protesting.
Right.
And it was not long after that I just said, I'm just not going to go to that class anymore. I'm just going to stop. And then not long after that, I parked in the parking lot for the last time, and I looked around and I said, I'm not even going to go to this college anymore.
Paid for parking and then have that realization.
Why poor people fail at real estate.
God. Boy, you got me riled up with this one, Bekah.
I've tried all night. I tried with
he wanted to beat a girl.
Yeah. He wants to buy a board game and beat women.
I just can't believe that. I mean, it's all about equality, but not really.
We should find some way to play that in some way. That would be funny while we do the show.
I wonder if
what's the game? We just play regular ass Monopoly, but Bekah gets $40 extra when she passes the go.
I mean, they play D&D all the time online. There's got to be a way to play a game like this during the show. It might take different panels and different cameras looking at the board, but
sure, there's an online one that we could all share a screen.
Yeah, there might be one, or just a way to play regular Monopoly online and make some rule where certain people get more for pass and go. Is that all it is? Is that the only difference? Is you get $40 more for pass and go?
And all of the things you pay, like you invest in, are actual inventions or something that was made by women. So
that doesn't bother me.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't alter the way the game is played, though.
Does it not? When the payouts happen, do they get 20% more as well?
I'm not sure. I'd have to.
Yeah, it's like on Community Chest. It's like if you're a man, you get $100. If you're a female, you get $120.
Yeah, I think.
Well, if we play it, I call the dildo.
As is
You'll have to
tradition.
fight me for it. I don't care if you're a woman or not. Dragging my dick and balls around this railroad.
Hasbro. God damn.
I'm land on that Clermont Lounge space.
Yeah,
Line it up.
that's got to be in the boardwalk spot.
Put that bitch up on auction right now.
All right, Bekah, it's that time of the show again.
I know it is.
I'm really looking forward to this poem. I hope you.
No
you don't let
pressure,
me down.
Bekah.
Hope you don't let me down.
Okay. It's called Clutch Guacamole.
All right.
The story begins. You have to socialize. Lose your senses because it's all about feeling. Testing the boundaries of our normal environment. Sun exploding, stars colliding. We got the performance part right. And now we are face to face with whatever kind of dance happens next. We were drawn to a normal experience, and the lines were visible, but nerves stole the show.
Shout out to Gabriella.
The inspiration.
Gabriella, if you could just call 865-316-6955 and whisper some of those things into that phone to Brad and Nathan, your two favorite white boys.
Follow us on Twitter, _verbal assault _. You're going to see some of those clips posting up on Twitter here in the coming days.
Some of those karaoke clips.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And support us on Patreon at patreon.com/verbalassault.
Yeah.
And thank you to Haywood Banks. I told him we would say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song.
Let's go to the Clermont Lounge, Haywood.
Yeah, it's you and us, buddy.
Sweet. Deuces.